Good morning, St. Francis, and good morning, people of God. It is Friday, the 27th day of the month of May, 2022, Friday of the 6th week of Easter, the 41st day of the Easter season, also the Friday that will lead us into Memorial Day weekend. Coming to you this morning from the great rock that stands in front of the main entrance to the Franciscan school, our parish school over here, which is decorated every year at this time by the class that's graduating, so that they can be remembered. And if I was to move back, see if I don't want to trip. If I was to move back towards it, we can see that slowly but surely, you can see that as part of our rituals here, the rock is signed by each members of the class. So this is the class of 2022's signature rock that will remain here as we go into the summer, as we conclude the school year. So on this Friday of the 6th week of Easter, as we draw to the close, moving towards the close of our Easter season, Paul again comes into conflict with some people. Although he is told to stay in Corinth and to be able to evangelize there and to spread the gospel, again, the Jewish authorities don't like what he's saying, and he bring him again to one of the Gentile magistrates, really, of the city. And the magistrate basically is like, if this was an act of breaking a law or something criminal or whatever, and not just a matter of dogma and doctrines or whatever it is, I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to bother with it. And again, which is true. Again, we try to look to other means and other ways to solve our differences, when really the sense of speaking in dialogue with each other, of reconciliation with each other, is what causes solutions to arise, and what helps us to resolve those kinds of things that seek to divide us. If we are constantly running to the law, if we're constantly trying to sue each other or trying to punish each other in that way, then really nothing is done, and nothing is really ever accomplished in a way that ever brings healing or solution or any kind of bringing back together what has fallen apart. And so, the synagogue official the synagogue official is then beaten because of all of this, and Paul basically just goes on his way. Again, these trials and tribulations that Paul faces as trying to spread the gospel, trying to begin this great movement out from Israel to the entire world, of what it means for God to have walked among us in Jesus of Nazareth, is something that isn't always clean. It isn't always neat. It isn't always accomplished, in one single feat. It is something that consists of a lot of moving forward and falling back, moving forward and falling back. But that is many ways in which the way God succeeds. That is the many ways in which God accomplishes what needs to be accomplished. Because perhaps in that moving forward and moving back again, there comes reflection, and there comes deeper understanding of what it is to be a part of God's life, and what it is to be, and what it means for God to be a part of our lives, and how our lives are renewed and enriched and transformed because of that. In the Gospel itself, Jesus continues kind of where he left off yesterday, talking about, in beginning the verses that yesterday's Gospel had, about the necessity, or not necessarily the necessity for suffering, but that suffering can lead to joy, and that from that suffering can come some kind of hope and some kind of healing. And again, he uses the metaphor of a woman in labor. Again, the anguish that comes with labor is then led to the joy of having the birth of a child. Now again, in this world in which we are living, sometimes the simplicity of moving from anguish to joy, of moving from darkness to light, of pain into healing, is not as easy as that, and is not as perhaps as satisfactory as that. And yet, again, we are told always to be people who do not just remain in lament. Lament we must at times, mourn we must at times, feel sorry we must at times, but we cannot be trapped in that mourning, that sorrow, that despair for the rest of our lives, because that undoes us, and that turns us into what we are not, and makes us incapable of giving witness to a God who definitely says, I make all things new, I heal all things, I am the one to put your trust in, I am the one to put your trust in, so that because of me, you can find a way through this darkness, you can find a way into hope, you can find a way into new life. For us to remember that is something that is difficult at times and challenging at times, but it is something that we are called to be as believers in this world, and demonstrate that to others. The more that we do that, the more the wonder of Easter becomes not just a moment on a calendar, but something that invigorates us and gives us a dynamism to last all our lives in our witness to others. A blessed Easter, St. Francis and people of God. May the Lord continue to give you his peace.